Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the HG Ahead Smultron. Now, before I start off the review, I would like to point out, yes, it's supposed to, in Japan, and also in Gundam Base Japan, it's the RG Hainu and the HG Getter Arc is supposed to release, it was supposed to release yesterday, but in Korea, which also does have a Gundam base, it was supposed to release yesterday as well. But next week, there is going to be a Bandai Expo in Korea, and I'm guessing that they actually delayed the release of those two kits so they can actually sell those on the Expo date. So yeah, I'm gonna be late on those reviews. Heck, I'm not even sure if I'm going to review the RG Hainu at that point because I'm more focused on the HG Getter Arc. But still, if you want to see a review of those, do let me know, and then expect those to come out from my channel next week. Alright, so now let's get on to the review. So, the HG Ahead Smultron. So, last time, I believe like 2 weeks ago, Bandai did reissue this kit as well, because around that time, I was able to get the regular Ahead right over there. So, yeah. So, the Ahead Smultron is basically, well, other than, like, it's meant for a specific type of pilot in the OO Gundam world, the Ahead Smultron was also supposed to be like a high mobility type of the Ahead. So it's supposed to move faster, and it's supposed to be able to turn faster than other units out there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the kit. And then kit-wise, build-wise, it's very similar to the previous Ahead, but with some different parts here and there. Alright, so now let's get on to the review. So as usual, let's see what we get. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the mobile suit itself. Definitely looking good. And once again, I'm not sure if I can't remember if I actually did any size comparisons. So let me just get this thing off the rotating stand and show you guys how tall this thing is. So here is a regular, typical sized Universal Sentry mobile suit. You can definitely tell it's much taller than your typical mobile suit for the Aheads. It's much more taller and much more bulkier than you think. So yeah, which is why these kits did actually get my attention. To be more specific, when I bought the Bushido Ahead or Ahead Sakigaki, yeah, that pretty much piqued my interest. So the main reason why you're not seeing that kit right over here is that that kit actually had one weird issue that these two don't have. So I'm still trying to fix that. So yeah, which is why I didn't bring him out here. So yeah, here I just brought this one for a slight comparison. You can definitely tell by the looks of it, you can definitely tell like the arms and legs, the waist section are pretty much the same. Even the only difference would be like the shoulder, backpack, head, and main body. So yeah. Alright, so other than the mobile suit itself, let's see what you also get. So here are the parts. So weapon wise, you get a shield, a much more simple, I don't know, a very simple looking shield, but still looks pretty efficient if you ask me. And by the looks of it, I believe the beam sabers or the GN sabers are supposed to be stored in here. There's a slight molding here, so I'm assuming that is what it is. And then here, and like for the Ahead, we got a chunk of a white plastic for the beam saber. In this case, they could have, once again, they could have still done a separate beam saber hilt and a beam saber effect part, but no, they did it in one of these things where it's a beam saber mold, but in clear plastic. So this does have some pros and cons here. So if you want to color your beam saber in your own unique colors, you can do that with this one as well. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Now, usually I'm not a big fan of these. And once we done with the shield, and then here we have the gun. So here we have the GN submachine gun, and then here we have the parts for the GN rifle. So once again, according to the wiki, this weapon is technically or practically the same weapon as the one that was in the Ahead, but in a different design just to match the specs for the Ahead Smultron. So once again, here is the machine gun mode, where basically you can do a burst fire with this. This was also kind of mentioned in the SD Gundam Capsule Fire Online. I actually used the Ahead Smultron for a while, so yeah. And then you can attach these parts, yeah, like this to make it into a rifle version. Now, one difference I noticed is that now for the Ahead Smultron, you actually had this extra handle for each side. This one, you only get one side for some reason. So I guess they were trying to cut costs or something, or maybe they had their reasons. But still, just letting you guys know. Alright, other than that, let's see what we get. So for leftover parts, we're pretty much getting leftover polycaps. Number one are these ball joint polycaps. And number two is a single polycap right over here, one of those longer ones. So that's that. And here we have a sticker sheet. As you can see, I pretty much used almost everything except for this one. So you actually have options for the head. So this one is the one that has the 4 glowing eyes. But once again, I know those type of designs are not meant for everybody. So if you want to have like a typical blue visor-esque design, you can use this sticker as well. We still have these gold stickers, which this one goes onto the chest. This one goes to the shoulder armor area. We have this one that goes onto the forehead, and then this black one that, believe it or not, goes inside the chest. I'll point that out later. Alright, so now let's get on to the review or the articulation. So let's start from the head as usual. So here we have the head. Personally, I do like that 4-eye aesthetics going on here. Another good part is that not only you apply the sticker, but you also have a clear piece plastic in front of it, so that it does definitely protect the sticker. So once again, if you don't like the 4 eyes, you can always go with the blue sticker, the plain blue sticker. But if you don't want to use stickers at all, I guess you could still use the sticker on the inside, but also you could color the insides of the clear plastic of the visor in your favorable color, maybe the dark blue or light blue, or even if you don't like blue, you can always color it green. So you can actually have a full-fledged visor going on here. Now there's another sticker here on the forehead. You're supposed to put a yellow golden sticker inside and then cover it up with a clear plastic, as you can see. So it works pretty well. And then on the chest here, definitely here are those gold stickers that we've seen before. Here's one on the chest, and then these 2 on the shoulder area. So that's that. Alright, so let's see what we got. So we have this part on the back of the head for some reason. I'm not sure what that does in terms of the technology-wise, but still it's there. And you can move the head down that much, up that much, and because of the ball joint connection, you should be able to go 360. In this case, the entire joint actually moved together. If I saw that correctly. All right, so now looking at the shoulders, it's pretty much what if you bought the regular Ahead or the Bushido Ahead, you should know how these works. Is that there's a long joint here. There's a long joint popping out from the main body, and there is another ball joint here, so you can connect this part between the arms and the main body. So that's there, and because of that structure, you are able to move forward and backward quite a lot, if you ask me, concerning that the release time of this kit. And then for the arms, you can barely almost go 90 degrees. I think this is as far as I go for now. And then these parts on the shoulder are connected as ball joints. So I'm not sure if I can take it out. There we go. Using a polycap ball joint, here we are. So while the regular Ahead had these extra shoulder armors, the Ahead Smultron has these extra thrusters going on here on the shoulder, so for more speed and such. Because as I mentioned, the Ahead Smultron is also considered to be like more of a high mobility type of the Ahead. And a lot of people, thanks to people pointing this out, I was aware of this, but I didn't mention this, but the Aheads were actually engineered and made by the same engineers that made the TRNs. So yeah, that's a really interesting part to know about, if you ask me. So other than that, the arms articulation are pretty much the same. 360 rotation is still there. You can rotate the entire arm like this, 360, and then you have a nice 90-degree bend going on here. And then the lower arm can also rotate on its own, so that you can adjust the location of these peg holes for the weapons. Because for the shield, you need it for the side, but for the gun, you need it from on the front. So that's the way how you adjust it. And then you have your typical ball jointed hands. Hand-wise, you only get the multi-purpose hands. Alright, so that's that. So, and looking at the main body, once again, a really interesting structured body. So once there is a clear piece on the inside of the main body, but behind that clear piece is a black round sticker for some reason. I'm not sure what that serves, but I'm not sure if it's the exact same case for the Ahead Smultron, but I'm going to assume it is. Where the original Ahead design, it was supposed to have the exact same chest design as a Gundam, where there was a round, piece going on there. But at the time, the Gundams did not have a really good image to the public, which is why the engineers decided to cover up with these type of armor. So I'm going to assume that the Ahead Smultron was also the same case. Hence, we have these like clear pieces going on here. And we also have like a gold colored piece that's popping out from the main body. So the main body is a pretty simple connection. You should be able to go to side. Of course, if you want to go 360, you're going to need to do some adjustments and kind of like force it to go. Because right now, to go 360, you're going to need to take these parts, the side skirts parts off, and then you need to rotate the back thruster thingy. Alright, so here is the part that I really find it interesting, but also have a big complaint about on the back. I love this gimmick where you can move this side to side. You can move this side. So for technology-wise, this is meant for the unit to actually rotate or actually move around a little more faster, so it can make faster turns. And then you can also rotate this 360. 360, and you can go to the side 90 degrees, and pretty much any angle you want to do so. My only complaint is that there should have been an action base connecting port here onto the backpack, so you can actually put in an action base and then make it go like sideways or such thing. But as far as I know, there isn't any such thing, so you're gonna have to either drill a hole there or do something else. Of course, there is an action base port on the mobile suit itself. I believe it's there, so you can take that off and you can connect the action base right over there. So yeah, that's the only part that I find it a little bit, you know, a little wasted potential, but still I do like this spinning gimmick. And everything you see here is all color separated pieces, so they did a pretty good job on this kit, if you ask me. Even despite having some stickers, especially, I do wish this part could have been a color separated piece, then it would have been perfect, but still, you can't have everything. Now, the side skirts, once again, very odd side skirts. I'm not even sure how these work, but still they work. They can move up and down. A little bit, there's no wiggle side to side, so up and down as far as I can tell, and then a little bit of rotation side to side. Now, if you look at the sides or legs from the side, you might have noticed that there's these ports here. I did show this on the regular Ahead version, but once again, for those who didn't watch it, these are meant for storing the weapon. So if you have the gun, on the back of it there's a stock, but on the back of the stock on the bottom there's like this hook part, which can actually attach here and then hook it onto the side. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of this design, or yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Usually you would store a gun not on this way, like maybe like this or something, but this, I just don't find it appealing. But then again, you only get one rifle for this kit, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna be holding the weapon at most times. And then leg-wise, it's pretty much the same structure where it's a ball joint connection here, but still has a side swivel kind of thing going on here. But of course, because of the overall design, you won't be able to just rotate only the leg, because this part is a ball joint connection, so you are able to go forward and backward for the legs itself, like this, like the shoulder, which is kind of an uncommon way as well. And then you can move about 90 degrees forward and 90 degrees backwards because there's no back skirt. Of course, there is this extra thruster, but I don't think this is working as much of a back skirt because, you know, there's nothing blocking the legs. And then going to the side 90 degrees is no problem as well. Bend wise, I believe you get a decent bend. You go more than 90 degrees here. And then feet wise is your typical ball jointed feet and no toe bend. Once again, I find this part a little bit odd. Usually, I think this is like it's supposed to be an ankle guard. Since the back one is exposed compared to the front part, so I guess this is supposed to work like this or something like that. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. Definitely, despite its release time, I say they did a pretty good job on this kit. Decent articulation, decent color separation, except for a few areas. So once again, I'll be right back with the weapon demonstration. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, I'm back. So here is one of those poses. So this was actually mentioned in the manual, so I decided to give it a try. So yeah, everything works. Once again, you have to attach the action base to the mobile suit instead of the backpack. So yeah, it's going to be really hard to get out that, rotating poses, but still it works. Once again, just want to mention that the shield and the weapon does actually have a connecting port right over here on the arm. You can just pretty much connect in here. I think this connection is much more sturdier compared to the regular Ahead that I had, because the shield on the regular Ahead I had kind of fell off a little bit too easier than I expected. Now once again, in this smaller gun mode, this is the machine gun mode. Basically, you can do a rapid fire with this gun according to the games and according to the manual. The more exact term of this is called the GN submachine gun. So yeah, you get the idea when you hear that name. And once again, for those, what I also like about is that you can attach, not only you attach the handle to the hand, but also there's also, using that clip point, you can connect it to the arm hole right over there to have a much more sturdier connection. I do love these type of connections. And just to point out that the beam saber, you should have no problem holding the beam saber with the given hand here. You can just slide it in and it just holds out very well. Alright, so there's only one thing left to show, and I'll be right back, which is the double hand pulse using the longer version, the GN rifle. Okay, so here's the last demonstration. So once again, you can make it into a longer rifle mode and then make it hold with both hands. Now, I believe you need to make sure the position of the shoulder is correct, and also you might need to utilize the rotating lower arm to make it to be able to hold the position correctly. But still, it works very well. And what I also do like about this is that for the regular Ahead rifle, you need to take this square piece off, but in this case, you don't really need to do that with this set, because if you want to make it into the GN submachine gun mode, you have to take these parts off, but in this case, no. And that's pretty much it for the review. So this was the review of the Ahead Smultron. Once again, I do really like the design of this. It's a very unique design. I do like the size. It's much more bulkier in terms of height, but also in terms of wideness, it's also pretty big. I'm glad that I have now all 3 of the versions. So yeah. Now I did, as for those who saw my post yesterday on Facebook or YouTube community, I did buy another unit out there, which was the Garazzo. I am definitely going to review that soon as possible, and there are also variants that I am trying to get as well. I'm pretty sure you know what those are at this point. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the HG Ahead Smultron. Once again, these kits has been reissued, so you might be able to find them with the blue logo as well. Once again, if you have any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.